Hey Gemini, this is Perrymore Tarot's daily reading for March 19th, 2025. This is for Gemini. Last shuffle for Gemini. Ooh, Gemini, I'm seeing some beautiful stuff for you right now. Your higher self and behind a mask. And watch when I say beautiful stuff, then Spirit's like, yeah, that part's beautiful, but maybe not all of this. But your higher self speaks a lot about your heart chakra, usually, right? About how it's important to make efforts in your situation. I'm seeing a lot of contrast for you. Like it's important for you to be focused on the here and now, right? But also to understand that despite your best efforts, now's not the right time to try. Like you can't control something, especially when it comes to certain relationships. And these relationships, of course, like I say, they're not romantic all the time. This is not just romantic relationships. These may be relationships that you have that are maybe integral to your success. Perhaps it could be a relationship with a boss, or someone that could make moves for you, someone that could change something in your life, right? That may have possessions or something. Is like you're trying to get something from this place or this person, and Spirit's saying be in the moment right now, but maybe now is not the time to make such great effort toward something, because you can't worry about things you cannot control. You can't do anything about certain things. You can't do anything about things that are in other people's hands. You know what I mean? You can, but then that could be criminal. I'm being serious, because the way they're putting it out here is that, yeah, you could do something about it, but you may not be able to do anything for a really long time afterwards. Just don't. They're showing that you need to have faith that things will align for you. I'm seeing angel number 222, and that's typically an alignment number, a number of saying it's a question. What do you do and how do you move forward toward your true life's calling? You're supposed to be doing what makes you happy. And what would make one happy truly, according to this, is that you cannot worry about things that are out of your control or people. You need to follow your interests more than anything else, right? Following your interests will help you to discover your life's purpose. Say, I don't know what that is. Maybe I have an idea, and maybe your interests may be different from the calling you think you have, right? Not necessarily so. This is how I got to where I'm at. My interests were different from my calling. I always felt like I was supposed to be a doctor, or in some healing something. So I was like, oh, okay, I'll be a therapist. Nah, I'll be a doctor. I'll be an obstetrician, pediatrician. Then I was like, yeah, I really don't like bodily fluids that much. This, that, and the third. But I was super into biorhythms, astrology, all these things. My interest brought me here. But because of all the things I studied along the way, it's all connecting, it's all aligning. And so that could be the same for a person who says, listen, I'm into origami. I love origami, but I feel like I'm meant to be an architect, not realizing that origami is closely tied to it, and that it's something about the degrees in which you're folding something gives you an innovative viewpoint on how you could build a home in this much space. King of Cups, the Tower, 8 of Cups, and 10 of Pentacles with your higher self. Your higher self is telling you that you can't you have to focus on your interests and what you love to do. That's the only thing that will change things for you. You're going through drastic changes here, right? As much as what I'm seeing is like, I'm going through drastic changes. I'm seeing that You're meant to focus on things, the interests, right? But interests are closely tied to your happiness here. This is where you're going to get the funding, the money, the things you're looking for, your possessions, the things that you're saying, I need. Spirit wants you to have faith. Your faith is an action. And it's in your ninth house energy for some reason. There's pointing at faith in ninth house. Go there, right? Look into your ninth house placements, and it might be able to give you an idea of the actions that you are taking or can take that will bring what you're looking for or guide you to your true life's calling. If you're saying, I don't know what it is, but even if you do, there's something about your interest being closely tied to this, right? It could be anything, right? You could be like, I love basket weaving, but I'm a hairstylist. You have no idea how much weaving would have something to do with the way that you braid. Or, you know what I mean? There's something about all of this that could give you an indication or something different, a new way of doing it that gives you a cut above the rest. And perhaps that could even lead to something else. Who knows? You might end up saying, you know what, I have an interest in these things, but later on, it leads to building a boat, and you don't even understand how. Like, how did I get here? I used to do this and that and the third, but all those skills tie into it. It reminds me of Karate Kid, right? And how the new Karate Kid, I mean, of course, the old one as well, but when he's going to Mr. Miyagi's like, listen, what you're gonna, sorry about my throat, guys, by the way. What I want you to do is a very mundane task over and over and over again. Wax on, wax off, right? And then in the new one with Jaden Smith, and oh gosh, how can I not remember his name? And I know his name like the back of my hand. Jackie Chan. He's like, pick up your jacket, hang it on the hook, drop it, take it off, drop it on the ground, pick it up constantly, right? And it turned into a movement, a whole style of fighting. So Emperor and Six of Cups behind a mask tells me that you may be in a space where you're remembering when you had more control. So Spirit's like, you can't worry about what you don't have control over anymore. You can't worry about that. I would if I were you, I would incorporate the color scarlet into your space, because I'm seeing scarlet heavily. That color vibrates on the frequency of like, hey, I'm attracting success. I want success in my life. Because they're asking you to be in the moment and focus on what you can do, because the way is really clear. You have more power than you know, but you may not have power over what you used to have power over. Maybe you don't have control over certain things. Emperor, sometimes if he's lost control, if that energy's lost control, you lost control maybe over your household, your children, your money, your assets or something. It's like, well, you can't worry about that. You don't have control over it anymore. That's okay. What you can do is focus on, okay, well, you know what? Maybe if the world gave you thorns, you weave a crown out of that mess, okay? Or you put that crown back on your head, and then you start making efforts while you're separated from other people, while you are whatever it is that's been taken from you. It's time to step back, take some time alone, and focus on you. Focus on your interests. Focus on what your calling really is at this point, because you can't do anything about another situation, right? It's time to implement some plans. It's time to take some actions for you. Loss is the Eight of Wands and the Three of Swords, and some of you may have lost this, whatever it was, like whatever you were already working on. Eight of Wands is about going ahead, working on it, moving forward, making progress, but maybe you lost the progress, and maybe you lost some kind of progress, and it's like, I want to expand on this. I'm disappointed by something, maybe a delay. I'm disappointed about that, and I'm trying to expand on that, right? I want to go further. I want to, whatever the issue was with Three of Swords, I want to create something peaceful out of it, continue to move on, finish my goal. You may have lost momentum. Spirit's like, well, you can't control that. But what you can do is focus on right now. We're not going to start thinking about what you lost. in the past. We're not, that would be past energy. And then projecting that forward in the future, like what I lost, now I won't be able to do this, and now I won't be able to do that. It's time to just focus on, well, right now that's not what I have in my, my arsenal, but what I can do is XYZ. So basically anything that you have lost, it's not really stopping the show. Spirit wants you to know that too. No matter what it was, no matter who it was, it's not stopping the show. You may feel as though someone is important to opening doors for you, but no, not really. No. Dark thoughts is the Three of Wands and the Nine of Cups. And dark thoughts would say, well, look at my options now. I have to wait now for what I want. So there's something about you thinking about how maybe I should just give up. Maybe I should just walk away. Maybe it's not my time. Now is not the right time to give up, but it's not the right time to be pushy or focusing on other people or the things that you're waiting on right now. It's time to do what you can do in the moment. Look into your second house as well. Second house would speak a lot to the things that are due to you in this life. You will know if you are focusing on the wrong thing. If you are not following your interests, you're going to feel it in your throat or your neck, right? Your neck all of a sudden will be stiff. Your throat, you'd be clearing your throat like I'm doing right now 1,000 times. They're showing gains, the gains that you have, like, the things that you would gain, maybe even your self-worth is in the second house, housed in that. Look into your ninth house for the actions through faith, right? That they're saying, hey, look at what you got in your arsenal. Use these tools, right? That's housed within these constellations and these houses in your chart. Use these to fuel you and propel you forward. I believe the second house is ruled by Taurus, and Sagittarius is the ninth house, I believe. Hope this makes sense. You could be dealing with an Aries or a Scorpio. We also have Cancer or Pisces. So you could be a Gemini, Cancer cusp. We're dealing with the Pisces, Aries cusp. If you're not dealing with those signs, which you don't have to be, those signs could also be in your chart. If you'd like to book a personal reading with me, my links are on my page. Peace, love, and light. Take care.